Alright, what's up guys? So, WrestleMania has uploaded a video titled 10 Legit Toughest Wrestlers Currently in WWE. Yeah, I'm checking this video out because I know there are some wrestlers in there where they could do bodily harm to a person if they really wanted to, but they're like, you know what, nah, like for wrestling's sake. That's what it's like, and it's also kind of scary because I'm like, bro, what if they're having a bad day and they just like decide, I'm gonna just demolish this wrestler? So, that's why it's scary, man. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into this video, guys. If you haven't, make sure you go subscribe to WrestleMania for more videos like this. And then that being said,
pro wrestling is predetermined, that doesn't mean that the superstars in a WWE locker room aren't as tough as they come. Over the years, there have been a number of superstars in the locker room that can legitimately cause some serious damage. Names such as Kurt Angle, Ken Shamrock, and Haku all had reputations for being able to take care of themselves whenever the occasion arose. But in relation to the current crop of superstars, there are a few superstars who are legitimately tough, mainly thanks to their experience in the world of mixed martial arts or
I knew she
wrestling.
was like, then she looked different.
Are they? Well, join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 of the legitimately toughest wrestlers currently in the WWE locker room. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists.
So you Undertaker gotta come back and have like a hip hop phase.
Number 10. Ivy
that gotta
Nile.
be his.
Fans might not be overly
that gotta be
familiar
his
with
entrance
the name
music.
Ivy Nile. Ivy only recently began to appear on WWE programming, and she looks set to be one of the top stars of the NXT brand. Ivy, since debuting in NXT, has become a member of the popular Diamond Mine stable, which is a clear indication that WWE management sees a lot of potential in the young star. Ivy has an extensive mixed martial arts background, which certainly makes her a perfect fit for the Diamond Mine. As well as being a legitimate MMA fighter, Nile is also one of the...
you do push-ups. Nah. I'm like, I gotta hit you with a Stone Cold Stunner or something. You got me pinned down on the ground doing push-ups on my back. Like, nah. That's like some, like, you're openly disrespectful for doing some stuff like that. But, no, like, I do, like, because, no, it was like, well, I started watching NXT when it came back on, like, TV and stuff. I used to watch it when it was, like, that, like, competition like show, and it was kind of like it was like a like Tough Enough 2.0 or whatever they were NXT was when they very first started. But I like what it is now. Like, I like how it's different now. But no, I like remember seeing her a couple of times. I don't think I've really like saw too many of her matches yet. Like, I don't know what she's really capable of. I mean, I saw her like wrestle, but I'm like, nah, I think, like, she's definitely somebody I'm like, I would like to see, you know, based off of what they're saying. I'm like, yeah, she's somebody I like to see, like, in the main roster. Like, she needs to have, like, a WrestleMania moment, you know, like, to, like, really, like, stand out and things. But anyways.
Most athletic and physically fit superstars on the WWE roster.
Dang.
Nile was a part of The Rock's hit show, The Titan Games, and would actually become the first ever female Titan champion. Number 9, Chad Gable. Now, although Chad Gable isn't the tallest guy on the WWE roster, this doesn't mean that he can't handle himself. Gable was a Minnesota high school state champion, and he actually entered the 2012 Olympics in London, where he competed as an amateur wrestler. Gable could out-wrestle virtually anyone on the roster, and someone often laugh about amateur wrestling being a legitimate self-defense mechanism, Gable, as well as the likes of Kurt Angle and even Brock Lesnar, would have drastically different viewpoints on the matter. Number 8, Shinsuke Nakamura.
So it's like, it is crazy because his, what's that guy's name? I can't think of that guy's name, but he was his, like, tag team partner, because I remember they had, like a thing going on. Why didn't they not have him as Kurt Angle's son? And they had it where there was like this, I can't even think of his name, but they had it where he was his son. That was like a thing that I just never understood. But Shinsuke Nakamura, and I'm like, nah, he comes off as somebody that, like, he knows how to fight.
Shinsuke Nakamura has attained a reputation for being one of the most talented and charismatic superstars of the modern era. Nakamura has achieved tremendous success in every wrestling company he's been in, and he's truly one of the most successful Japanese stars in WWE history. But believe it or not, Nakamura is one incredibly tough man, and he actually had a brief yet prosperous mixed martial arts career. Between the years of 2002 and 2004, Nakamura had a total of 4 fights, and he managed to win 3 of them. For a new fighter, this win-loss record was a fantastic achievement, and it certainly showed critics how tough
he got some heat for that.
Around this time period, there was a ton of interest in Nakamura from various parties, including UFC. In fact, UFC made him an offer for him to join their promotion, as they believed that he could be a huge star. In a 2017 interview with the Hindustan Times, Nakamura would reveal, around 2005, UFC offered me a chance to fight for them. But at that moment, I was under contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling and I decided to stay in pro wrestling. It was a good opportunity, but I don't regret my choice. You have to understand that I'm 37 years old now. It's been a long time since my last proper MMA training, and although I still train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it will take me at least 1 year to be ready for a proper fight. That's not something I want to do as I'm happy in WWE. Number 7, Shelton Benjamin. A WWE accomplishment aside, Shelton Benjamin is actually one of the most talented amateur wrestlers of all time. Shelton was so successful in this avenue that during high school, Benjamin recorded an overall win-loss record of 122 wins and 0 losses.
Wow.
Benjamin was actually considering trying out for the 2000 Olympics, but he decided to pursue the world of pro wrestling and sign with WWE.
He probably would got a
Legends,
gold
including
medal.
Bully Ray and JBL, have publicly stated that Shelton can stretch anyone on the WWE roster and that Shelton is one of the toughest guys in the WWE locker room. Number 6.
That's probably why they got him still. I know everybody's like, because though there was somebody on Twitter that was talking about like, oh, why is Shelton Benjamin still like in the company and stuff. I'm like, bro, look how talented he is. My thing is like the time when he was gone, like it just to me, that was like one thing that I was like, I always was like hoping for, like, dang, Shelton Benjamin needs to come back. Like he needs to come back to WWE because that's like all the like different wrestlers that was like going through the company, and I'm like, bruh, like he needs to be. It's like he's just one of those wrestlers where it's like he's too talented. It's like, and then on top of that, he's probably like teaching these guys, like the new coming wrestlers, like teaching them things and telling them things. So I'm saying like I knew there was something special about Shelton Benjamin. I'm like, I didn't really know too much about his like history and stuff, but I'm like, every time when I saw this man on TV, I knew it was gonna be good. So that's why I'm like, yeah, Shelton Benjamin. I'm like, bro, like, y'all gotta bring him back. But nah, I'm like, he's here now. So I'm like, hey, yo, this man, I'm like, you guys better make sure of it that he stays. I'm like, I swear, if I see a thing, they coming out and they are like, oh, Shelton Benjamin was released. I'm like, nah, WWE, you guys are fumbling some major bags, all right?
Bill. At the age of 16, Sonya Deville began to train
did
in
some
the discipline
MMA, I
of
think.
mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Eventually, in 2014, she decided to fight professionally, and between the years of 2014 and 15, she had a total of 3 fights and managed to win 2 of them. She eventually decided to appear on the new season of Tough Enough, and although she didn't win the show, she was offered a developmental deal. Since then, her career has gone from strength to strength, and she was called up to the main roster in 2017. At one stage of her career, Sonya actually pitched a storyline with Ronda Rousey, and this was saying, the most legitimate and toughest female superstars of all time collide.
That was one thing, because that's why I was like, I was thinking that, and I was like, nah, because it was both of them, with their just MMA background. I'm like, bro, I feel like that would have been good. I'm just saying. So me personally, but hopefully, I don't know. Is Ronda Rousey gonna come back? I feel like she's not. Like, I just feel like she's like trying to like slowly leave, but then somebody would stir up like her name and stuff. It's like, well, what about her in WWE? Then So I'm saying, I feel like once it like dies off, and I think it's just gonna be announced one day. Oh yeah, Ronda Rousey. She hasn't been with us for like 2-3 years now. So.
But unfortunately, WWE rejected the exciting pitch. Number 5, Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
Now, Matt Riddle may come across as a lovable and charismatic superstar, but the reality is that Riddle is one of the toughest men to ever be in the WWE locker room. Before becoming a pro wrestler, Riddle was a fighter in UFC where his record stood at 8 wins and just 3 losses. Riddle will be the first to tell people how tough he is, and he made this perfectly clear when The Undertaker publicly declared that the current generation of WWE superstars are soft. Riddle, during an interview with Wrestling Inc., would declare that, "I'm a former professional UFC fighter that broke people's jaws on a steel cage. That's something that wasn't around when he was a young man, and I bet if it was, he still wouldn't step up because it takes a different breed. You shouldn't say certain things about the upcoming roster because we are real savages, not pretend ones. You should watch out." Number 4, Dolph Ziggler.
Hey.
A number of
Dolph Ziggler. He's somebody just based off of how this man be overselling. Like, and plus, I'm trying to think, when was the last time he was injured? When was the last? I feel like Dolph Ziggler, if he's like gone for a while, that man's just taking a break. But no, I'm saying like Dolph Ziggler is one guy where it's like you can like knee this man in the face. He'll do like his flop and just fall all out and stuff. But like other than that, like nah, Dolph Ziggler, he's one of those guys where he's just he just can't. I don't want him to get hurt, but I'm like, nah, that's another like talented wrestler.
Superstars, including Ric Flair, have stated that Dolph Ziggler is one of the toughest guys in the entire WWE. This surfaced after Conor McGregor made some negative comments about the WWE and their roster. This led to Flair tweeting that he dares McGregor to try the likes of Ziggler or Brock Lesnar, implying that it wouldn't end well for one of the UFC's biggest stars. Ziggler's skill set comes from the world of amateur wrestling. He broke multiple records for his high school and college and was even inducted into the Kent State University Hall of Fame as an achievement of his incredible career. Number 3, Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler may just be the
I thought that was crazy when she did that. I was like, this girl ain't human.
Shayna began her MMA career in 2006, and this culminated with a run in UFC. Although she was released from UFC, she had a ton of experience in the octagon, and she decided to make the jump to the world of pro wrestling. Shayna brought something completely new to pro wrestling, as before she came along, it was rather uncommon to see female talent with Shayna's background step foot into a WWE ring. When she eventually signed with the WWE in 2017, she quickly impressed management as her in-ring style looked brutal and legitimate, but thankfully, Shayna is said to be one of the safest workers around. Number 2, Bobby Lashley.
She has blood. She's sitting there. You know what? No comment. No comment. I ain't gonna say nothing about that. I'm like, she's one of the safest wrestlers. She bit the woman's neck. That was Becky Lynch. I'm like, she bit her neck, but nah, like I do hear that. I think they said another wrestler that's like that's safe is Sheamus. I think it was his name that I heard in a conversation like that, where they're like, they're safe wrestlers, or it's like, hey yo, if you're gonna trust anybody, trust them. So
during Bobby Lashley's initial run in WWE, he had an imposing, incredible image. He stood 6 feet tall and had 270 pounds of pure muscle. However, when Lashley departed WWE in early 2008 and decided to try his hand at MMA, fans quickly learned that Lashley was one of the toughest men to ever be under a WWE contract. Lashley's MMA career was a monumental success, and he attained the record of 15-2-0. Lashley was a high school and collegiate wrestler and actually won 3 straight NAIA national championships.
Dang, man.
Therefore, a fighter of Lashley's size being able to grapple and wrestle made him as credible as they come. Lashley eventually decided to return to WWE in 2018, and since then, fans as well as Lashley himself have been campaigning to see him collide with Brock Lesnar in a dream match. And number 1, Brock Lesnar. Before signing with WWE, Brock Lesnar was an accomplished amateur wrestler. He won the 2000 NCAA Division I World Championship, and he finished his amateur wrestling career with a record of 106 wins and just 5 losses. Lesnar's first run in the WWE was brief, as he was on the main roster for 2 years before exploring other ventures outside the squared circle. One of these ventures was MMA, where Lesnar became one of the most dominant and successful fighters in UFC history. Lesnar was such a natural in the octagon that he won the UFC World title in his second fight, and then when he returned to WWE in 2012, he was bringing a ton of credibility, and it was clear that the talent were uneasy of Lesnar at first. A contributing factor to this uneasiness was the fact that it did take some time for Lesnar to adapt to pro wrestling again, as he was extremely stiff in his first few matches. But there you have it, folks, 10 legitimately toughest wrestlers currently in the WWE locker room. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.
It don't surprise me though that Brock Lesnar is on that that he's number 1, because just how like dominant that man is, I'm like, nah, he's somebody where I'm like, if they said like, oh yeah, your first wrestling match is gonna be against Brock Lesnar, I'm like, can I have like one of 2 choices? Can I like call out sick, or can you guys like switch it to somebody else? Like I'm saying, like all these wrestlers, you mean to tell me there ain't no wrestlers? Hire one of them wrestlers y'all got rid of. Why my first match gotta be against him? I'm like, hey, I'm saying like that match is gonna be quick. I'm gonna just fall out and just be like, hey bro, just pin me. Or I would like, well, no, I wouldn't want to purposely injure myself, because it might be like some crazy injury. It might be like catastrophic. I'm like, I can't do no stuff like that. So I'd be like, dang bro, I'm like, out of all the people, it had to be him. I'm like, dang, it can't be nobody else. How come it can't be like Shelton Benjamin? How come it can't be nobody else? I like Shayna Blazer, whatever her name is, alright? But I'm saying, like, like, it's, come on, man. I'm like, don't do this to me. But nah, like, it don't surprise me though that these wrestlers is on this list. So I was like, yeah, because I did read a little bit about some of the wrestlers. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, so these guys, in case some stuff goes down, yeah, they can fight. So, but anyways, that was a pretty good video. Shout out to WrestleMania. If you guys haven't, make sure y'all go subscribe to them for more videos like this. Like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.